I just got my purple belt, so I'm putting myself through an 8-hour gauntlet of various challenges against 10 of my toughest training partners of every belt level to find out where I stand. And I have 3 goals. Analyze the differences between the belts, don't get hurt before my competition tomorrow, and don't get submitted by a lower belt unless I'm blindfolded or tied up. Let's start with the 2 white belts.
All right, what's up, Mr. Diego?
Morning, how are we doing today?
Oh, my name's Aiden Angel Walters.
What's your favorite move in jiu-jitsu? Who are the biggest names you know in jiu-jitsu?
Gordon Ryan, his brother.
Yeah.
And then Craig Jones.
Do you have any injuries I should worry about?
Just my ego. Especially if Diego manages to catch me in a submission in our first round. By the way, purple is intermediate, which usually takes 3 to 6 years to get, so I think I should do pretty good against the blue and white belts, but we'll see. But Diego is not a normal white belt. He used to wrestle, so that gives him a big advantage. He's also incredibly smart, but like most white belts, he's got some random holes in his game. So I took advantage of this and got 2 submissions in our first round. The first one was an armbar, and the second was a choke. But just because I submitted him doesn't mean he didn't get any small wins. Sometimes white belts can take you by surprise, like here when Diego was able to escape one of my submission attempts. Luckily for my ego, I didn't get submitted, but what happens if we spar while I'm blindfolded? Before we get to that, let's check out my round with Aiden. He's very new, but he's a rock climber, so he's pretty athletic, and this is my first time rolling with him, so I don't know if he's got any surprise submissions up his sleeve. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
4 months.
Let's see if he's learned anything cool so far. As we start our first round, he immediately surprises me by trying to set up some leg attacks, so I need to get out of there ASAP. Luckily, I escaped the threat, and now I need to pick up the pace because he's more dangerous than I thought. I got some submissions, but as I suspected, he moves deceptively well for a white belt, which is common for people who do sports outside of jiu-jitsu.
Oh, thank God.
I won the first round, but will this go any differently if I can't use my hands? Well, first, let's see if Diego can submit me while I'm blindfolded. And he's gonna start on my back already. Even as a white belt, Diego knew what to do from this dominant position, which means if he can get there in a roll, he has a significant advantage despite his rank. But he has to learn how to get there reliably first. The blindfold made me want to play super conservative for fear of getting hit in the face. But luckily for me, these special challenges don't count against my goal of not getting submitted by a lower belt. Once I got more used to it though, I could start escaping and attacking, but I had to stay as close as possible so I could use my other senses besides my vision. Now let's see if Aiden can perform as well as Diego despite being much newer, but he's gonna start in mount with my hands tied. Counterintuitively, he completely bails on the position to go for an attack that he's good at, and I should have expected this given what happened in the first round. I'm impressed that he had the intuition even as a white belt to know how much of an advantage he has when I can't use my hands to push his legs off while he attacks my ankle. Diego and Aiden don't have far to go before becoming blue belts, and we'll see what the difference is right now as we transition into facing 4 of them. Will any of the blue belts be able to submit me? But first, real quick, here's Diego on bottom getting 2 points for a sweep in competition, showing he does pretty well against other white belts. And then here's a sick video of Aiden unleashed in competition where he got several ankle locks, a calf slicer, and even a knee bar. No wonder he got me so easily. But now let's move on to the blue belts to see if any of them have a chance at submitting me, especially as I get more tired. I'm most worried about Tyson, who's only 18, much bigger and way more athletic. And he's been training for 8 years. But first, we'll start with someone else. A tough competitor, just like almost everyone else in this video.
Homer. You can call me Homer, or you can call me HD.
Oh, like a TV. How long you been training?
3 years.
Homer showed me a couple of his favorite moves, and like a lot of blue belts, he has more whole body attacking options, which means I have way more to defend if I want to keep him from submitting me in the next 3 challenge rounds. But we're upping the stakes. There's a thing that we'll have to do, which I'm gonna, you say over here. Whoever loses gets the bucket dumped on their head.
That's good.
Do you have a towel? The first challenge in our best 2 out of 3 is a normal round, but I'm adding an obstacle to see how it affects us and if we can use it to our advantage at all, and hopefully Homer can't. I'm gonna try to use the box to submit him as soon as possible with a surprise move. But like a true blue belt, he's able to defend, escape, and then start attacking me, so I bail so that he can't finish his first attack of the round, the ankle lock. But I have to keep up the momentum, so I try to take him down to attack his arm, but now he threatens my upper body with one of his favorite moves, so I have to change my tactics again, but I'm still looking for a submission. And finally, I'm able to hold him down long enough to get an armbar. This round felt way more risky than the rounds with the white belts, but it's not over. Homer can still tie the round if he gets a submission. I decide to pull guard, but I realize I've made a grave mistake as that happened right next to the box, and I don't have any room to escape. And Homer shows his blue belt skills once again in attacking the full body as he tries to pull off his third move, the Darce choke. If Homer gets me, I'll fail one of my goals. But luckily, I defend at the last moment and get back on top as the round ends. Now I only need one more win and Homer will get the ice bucket. But then Aiden mentioned something that gave me an idea.
Wait, so what happened? What happened?
Yeah, this guy broke my ACL for like 6 months, okay? I
turned
got
wrong.
surgery.
He backed
the
up.
whole thing.
Oh, you had to get surgery?
Yeah.
I don't know, should I challenge you guys against each other?
Before we find out the answer, let's see if another blue belt can submit me. Marshall has volunteered as tribute.
I just heard that we were doing a role that you were doing, kind of running through the belts here.
Yes. I too am a Odyssey member, just in California. I don't live in Atlanta with my team, as I've mentioned in another video, and I last saw them 3 months prior to this when I got my purple belt. So since I haven't rolled with everybody yet, including Marshall, I have no idea what to expect from him.
How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I've been here 3 years.
What's your favorite move?
Marshall and I are once again going to do best 2 out of 3, and the first challenge is just a regular round.
6 minutes on the clock.
Not only is Marshall much bigger than Homer, but this round happened like 6 hours into the day. I just grouped all the belts together. So I could get submitted if I'm not careful. Marshall surprises me with a takedown, so I try to get a guillotine on him, but there's one problem.
I don't know if I've ever done a guillotine in my life.
I'm gonna roll with my head coach Greg later, and I'll ask him how to actually finish a guillotine, so stick around. We reset standing, and as a blue belt, Marshall's standing defense is way better than a white belt's, as you would expect. But I remembered Homer's arm drag, and Marshall just pulls guard so I can't take his back. He starts trying to attack my upper body, so I have to start passing differently, and I get around to his back. But the thing about blue belts is generally their defense is pretty good from most positions, so he manages to escape. Time is running out, and I've managed to keep the lead so far, but Marshall still could turn the tables at any moment, so I keep trying to get back to a dominant position. Marshall has a keen awareness and ability to slow me down no matter where I go, so I have to stay sharp. But once again, Marshall is able to get me off of him, and I have to start from square one. But I keep the pressure going, and I'm able to get to his back once again. But this doesn't last for long as Marshall starts to work yet another escape. It seems no matter where I go, Marshall has an answer for everything. Not only is his defense really good as a blue belt, but he's also able to set traps. Like right here, he pretends to grab my head so that he can shoot in for my legs and take me down. Time's running out, so I have to go for my favorite move, the ankle lock. I've done over 80 of these in competition, but Marshall is well aware. I change my plan and sweep him to get on top so I can try to get to his back so I can choke him before time runs out. I start to sink in the rear naked choke when the timer goes off.
Oh, right there. Nice.
Overall, I won this round and I didn't get submitted by a lower belt, but his defense was so good that I couldn't submit him either. But Marshall still has a chance to tie the score in our second challenge. Will he have an easier time with my hands tied? Before we get to that, I'm tagging in Aiden to help me beat Homer because of their beef.
Wow. I'm shaking in my boots.
All right, we got a 5-minute timer. All right, and ready, combate.
I've won one so far, so if Aiden can win this one on my behalf, Homer gets the ice bucket. Can he do to Homer what he did to me? Aiden escapes a few bad positions and even gets one of his leg attacks going. But it's not enough. Homer's able to secure a dominant position and finish a head and arm choke at the end of the round, tying the score.
Yeah, nice. Keep that arm out. Nice. Ooh.
This means whoever loses the final round gets the ice bucket. But first, let's head back over to Marshall.
My only job is to escape. His only job is to sub me.
What is this, 50 Shades of Grey?
He couldn't submit me in a regular round, but will this change anything?
How many hours have I been here?
Yeah, it's 8 hours.
Yeah. Aiden, can you tell them to subscribe?
Subscribe.
Alright, 2 minutes on the clock. You say go. Go!
Despite how tired I am, if I escape, I win. But I might have a hard time defending his chokes given that my hands are tied. I actually start to get out, but Marshall follows me, staying on my back. But I only have to survive for less than 2 minutes, and I know I can make it through if I'm careful. But what I didn't realize is that Marshall can control both of my hands with just one of his. And he starts sinking in the choking arm. I start to feel the lights closing in around me. Marshall submitted me and tied our score, but I still haven't technically failed my don't get submitted by a lower belt goal since that only applies to the regular rounds. But before we find out if I can win in our third and final round, let's get back over to the third and final challenge with Aiden and Homer. The rules are simple. The first person to win 2 rounds in a row wins this challenge. In this first round, you have to get a submission. Escapes don't count. Since Aiden got me so easily with my hands tied, I thought he'd beat Homer right away, but Homer was able to get out of his triangle attempt. And then Homer immediately got him back with the same move. Now, Homer only needs to win 1 more to win the whole thing. But I'm hopping back in for this round.
All right, if I escape, it's a win for me. If he subs me, that's a win for him.
If I don't escape this, I get the ice bucket. I made it out, and now I'm tagging in Aiden again in his strongest position.
Who's your money on?
I don't know, Aiden's been ripping those fish.
Since I escaped, if Aiden can win this one for Team Josh, Homer gets the ice bucket.
All right, ref.
Ready?
I'm almost certain that Aiden is going to be able to get this, but Homer escapes.
Oh, he got out.
And now I have to try to escape the same position, but if Homer submits me, then he wins and I get the ice bucket. But first, let's see if I can beat Marshall in our final round. All I have to do is submit him, but I know he's going to be defending the choke with everything he has. I know I'm going to have a hard time attacking his arms too since I can't separate them, so I decide to set up something else, a triangle. But I can't finish it before the round is over, which means Marshall has now beaten me in our best 2 out of 3. Will Homer do the same thing? Let's find out. I know exactly how to get out of here since I do ankle locks all the time. But it turns out I was wrong.
Guess what I'm doing? Oh, that hurt like a bitch. Luckily, it wasn't the sign that I have tattooed with an ankle lock.
Well, that would've been ironic, right?
I didn't tap early enough, so now I don't know how I'm gonna hold up for the rest of the rounds or for competition tomorrow.
We got a limper.
As long as Aiden.
Good job. All right, we gotta go outside.
Oh, and by the way, that whole beef with Aiden and Homer, turns out they were just messing with me.
There was no surgery.
It was a year.
Yeah.
There was no surgery?
No, there was no surgery whatsoever. It was like a month I was just walking like this. That was it.
We promote positive vibes on it.
Positive vibes. Okay.
Before Homer dumps the ice bucket on me, let's see if 2 more of our blue belts have a chance at submitting me. First up is the one I was dreading.
What's up, Tyson? You wanna come over here? Look, this kid's doing dips already. Guy, look how big he is.
I'm doing well. I mean, as well as I can be. I'm cutting weight. Now I'm 180.
How old are you?
18.
If anyone can submit me, it's gonna be Tyson with his 8 years of experience in crushing athleticism. I don't know why I'm about to pull guard, but here we are. Actually, I know exactly why. The funny thing about the blue belt division in competition is that not only will you see normal people, but you'll also see people like Tyson, as well as college wrestlers, MMA fighters, and black belt judokas. I'm just exhausted at this point, so I'm doing everything I can to keep him off of me.
This guy weighs like 400 pounds, dude.
All I have to do now is survive against Tyson and I won't fail at my goal. I'm able to escape several bad positions, but he's not making this easy for me. And finally, I barely make it through and the round is over.
I feel fantastic. He's really good at escaping things.
Oh, thanks. It's a silver lining.
We then moved on to the special challenges where I thought I'd have an easier time.
You gotta choke him.
Neither one of us managed to submit the other one, but overall this challenge goes to Tyson. I got payback though by armbarring his little brother Nixon.
3, 2, 1.
So far I've managed not to get submitted in a regular round by a lower belt, even a huge one like Tyson, but would this change in my last blue belt round with Simon?
Fucking animal, what the hell?
Well, we'll find out soon, but first we're gonna get started with the only purple belt in this video to find out exactly what separates him from the blue belts.
Brady doesn't know. Get a shot of that.
We can't let him see the ice bucket.
Can't go up there.
Can't go up here, Brady.
Brady.
What's going on?
Nothing.
I think we're good. We'll just leave that over there for...
Beauty of the subscribers. We gotta make this a game.
Brady is a bit deceptive. He's super affable, but not only is he one of the most dangerous on the mat, but also one of the most creative.
It's for the Europeans.
Little Tariki plotting.
That's for the Europeans.
Purple belts like Brady have a keen awareness in pretty much every position, and a skill level that can even rival some black belts. While Brady can pretty much do whatever he wants to white belts after 4 years of training, will he be as competitive with me? Let's find out. What I didn't realize though is how much Brady hates ice baths, so he's gonna be fighting hard.
Why are we in this corner, Brady?
I'm scared of the events that might come.
Since Brady's the only purple belt, we're gonna do best 4 out of 7 speed rounds, starting with a regular round. But to make it more interesting, we're gonna throw in some obstacles. Brady's been a purple belt longer than I have, so I fully expect the possibility of submission, but luckily this doesn't count against my goal. We start goofing around, messing with the obstacles, but I remember I have a job to do. But in the midst of the chaos, Brady's able to grab a hold of my ankle and get a submission.
Dude, everybody's going for the ankle locks.
We have a challenge to do, and if I don't get him back right now, I'll lose the round and risk getting the ice bucket. So I do everything I can to get to his back ASAP. But there's a problem. His defense is way better than the blue belts.
I can't choke him, he's not even defending it.
I got a fat ass neck. It's because I talk so much.
I only have seconds left, so I have to go for a Hail Mary, but the round ends.
What's about to happen?
Now that I'm down 1 round, will I still be able to come back for a win? Before we get to that, let's check in with our one and only brown belt, Matt. Matt has been an active competitor for years, is really good at jiu-jitsu, and is also unusually strong. He even runs a strength and conditioning gym for BJJ athletes, even offering remote programming. The thing about Matt is that if you let him get any slight advantage, it can turn into a downward spiral. So our roles usually hinge on who can get ahead first. There's always a way out of bad positions, but especially with brown and black belts, you want to avoid getting there at all and get your own attacks going ASAP. Like most brown belts, Matt's also a huge specialist in a few areas. For example, he loves getting to the back. Oh, and if you notice the change of scenery, that's because we're back in California where Matt and I train together all the time, which means we both know each other's games very well and often end up in stalemates. I'm also gonna roll with 2 black belts, but first let's get back to Brady where we're gonna see who loses the second round and gets closer to the ice bucket. First, we'll see who can rack up the most submissions and escapes, starting on each other's backs blindfolded. Every submission is a point and every escape is a point. Brady's already up 2 submissions, so I need to get something going fast. But just as I think I have his arm, he escapes at the last moment, racking up a 3rd point for this round. I have just seconds left to rack up another 3 submissions, but I'm not gonna give up. I managed to get 1 more, but it's too late. Brady has now won his 2nd challenge in a row. If he wins 2 more, I'll get the ice bucket. Before the next challenge with Brady, let's see how good I can do against a black belt. Oh, and the second one is gonna be my head coach. He's also gonna teach me how to finish that guillotine I lost earlier. Amon recently got promoted to black belt, which is a huge milestone. Black belts vary. Some go hard and dominate, while others relax and work from bad positions, like Amon's doing here.
This guy's a camper. He's a camper. He's gonna go around the back next. Yeah.
Don't be fooled though, he's one of our most active competitors and is even competing alongside me tomorrow, so we're both avoiding injury.
Just stand up, bro.
In jiu-jitsu, just like judo's first black belt rank, Shodan, which ironically means beginner degree, black belts can range from casual hobbyists to skilled competitors like Amon. And if a black belt isn't the toughest role, it's usually intentional. Once you hit black belt, the journey just continues and the skill gap widens more and more. It's not the end, it's the beginning.
Oh, no.
I got a submission when his hands were tied, but we were basically just playing the entire round.
Oh shit, that's actually working.
Is that working?
Unlike Brady, Amon was not trying to win to avoid the ice bucket. We'll get back to Brady in a second because first I want to get some advice from Amon about our competition tomorrow.
This is how you do jiu-jitsu, what we just did. It's not about winning, but it also is.
I managed to score 1 point.
What do you think about when you go to compete?
Honestly, I think about what playlist I'm gonna make. Just another day on the match, just a referee watching you. You kind of have to make everything. Maybe if it's a major, I'll like study tape hard, but at this point it's just reps. We make it a big deal, but it's honestly not a big deal. It is, but it isn't. It's all in your head. So I try to think about my game, what I'm really good at. Don't think about what if they get me in this. If they get me in this, I hope my defense and my timing is good. If not, you come back to the training room. We spend more time here anyway.
We'll also get some technique advice from my head coach soon, but first let's get back to Brady where he's up 2 rounds already and just needs to win 2 more. I tagged in Diego to see if he could submit Brady like he did to me, but Brady escaped, and then to make matters worse, he submitted Diego, winning the 3rd challenge. But then this happened.
Oh shit, oh no, you okay? Okay.
Are you okay, bud?
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, Diego. This is my fault, I know.
just a weather change. I'm good.
Sorry. I feel so bad. You all right?
Yeah.
Luckily, he was fine, and now it was time to move on to the 4th of 7 challenges.
So what's the current score? I think you won the first round, the second round, because you got more points than me. You won the third round.
Since Brady's so far ahead, I have to win the next 4 rounds in a row.
If I win one, we're just going
Then you
back
win.
Then I win.
It all hangs on whether or not I can hit my special move that I've hit over 80 times in competition, but if Brady gets his foot out, he wins.
3, 2, 1, go. Sub or escape. Keep that in mind. Hold on to that for dear life, Josh. You need content, bro.
I thought I could hang on, but then this happened.
It was all for nothing.
You know what's coming now.
Brady was just too good, and now I had to accept my fate.
Count down. I don't know. Just hit me with it.
I don't even.
We were proud of Diego for stepping in and challenging both of us.
This is a real.
Good job, Diego.
Thank you. I love this kid.
Oh, and I almost forgot about the ice bucket with Homer. Alright, he took that easy on me.
Y'all were right, though. It felt good.
The day was wrapping up, but we're not done yet.
Let's go back to our final blue belt.
If I don't get submitted by Simon, then I'll have successfully completed my challenge of not getting submitted by a lower belt.
But I immediately made a grave mistake. Worried that Simon will capitalize on this, I scramble back to the top. But I forgot just how scrambly he is. And then he gets on top of me in one of the worst positions to be in jiu-jitsu. I hook his leg and get an underhook to escape, but it was a trap. He wraps up a Darce choke. I have to get out or else I'll fail my challenge of not getting submitted by a lower belt. And that's when it happens. Simon submits me. But training jiu-jitsu isn't about not getting submitted by lower belts. I mean, it was for this video, but if a lower belt does actually catch you, then it's a gift because it shows you another hole in your game that you can fix. It's really not about the belt at all. We're all teammates, and of course we're competitive, but we're all here to help each other get better. And besides that, I'm happy for my teammates that are constantly progressing. And a higher belt doesn't automatically mean you should win against every lower belt. That would mean that nobody is improving, and that assumes that learning is linear, which it's not. Speaking of progress, congrats to all my teammates who 3 months later were promoted by Professors Brandon, Amon, and Greg. Before we see how I did at my competition tomorrow, I wanted to roll with Coach Greg. In true black belt fashion, he likes working from random positions and surprising people with things they don't expect. He's gonna show me how to properly finish a high elbow guillotine, Marcelo Garcia style, who he trained under. But first he had to hit me with a heel hook.
I know. We're going by black belt rules.
I look for either a snap down position where I got to get his head into one of the pockets and I'm looking to feed the hand almost like a chin strap grip. I need to make sure that I'm not going to go too shallow or too deep. I'm actually trying to get at the wrist line here. This is where people kind of mess up. Some people go too deep and some people a little too shallow. You want to kind of find that little sweet spot. The grip that I like to use, some people do like the S grip like this. I use a standard, like a seatbelt grip. Now what makes this work is me falling to my right hip so that I can have a frame with my left hand and I want to line it up with his spine. Here, that's how this works. When I fall to my hip, I start rotating towards my right, his left, and as I do that, my right bicep will hit his carotid and the other side of my wrist will hit his other carotid here. See, I'm keeping my hands kind of like in a seatbelt position. It almost looks like if Josh was turning around this way and I was finding my seatbelt, it would be the same type of grip that I'm going to use. So I don't like this. And I see some people do kind of like, I've seen this, I've seen this too. I think this, so the reason why I like this grip is it allows me to turn, because your wrists are actually super flexible. So it allows me to turn my wrist here and have a lot of play in my left wrist so I can come over the top. That's one key detail to it. The other key detail, when you sit straight back for the guillotine, he's gonna frame, he's gonna pop his head off and and we get into this situation, or just like really do the hand fighting and like pop your head out, you know what I'm talking about? Like, yes, now you can pop your head out, just straight up, and we're out, right? If I fall to my hip, and I keep him in this pocket here, it's a little bit harder for him to get out of.
Thank you for that. As far as my competition goes, this was my second one at Purple Belt. I got 3 matches and got second, so thanks everybody for the hard training. Thanks for watching, thanks to the channel members, and if you want to support too, the links are in the description. And check out this next video.